Oh, it was Black Friday. How many people went Black Friday shopping? Let me see you, let me see. You know, I had this whole thing planned for this opening. And I was about to be like, you know, we all thankful on Thursday. And then you're in Friday, on Black Friday, fighting over TVs. Where'd that thankful go? But yeah, none of that happened. None of that. I think Black Friday has fizzled. I was so upset. How do I know? Because I was there. I mean, it was almost sad. It was almost like a funeral for Black Friday. Yeah, you only had to stand in line like 3 minutes. Yeah. It wasn't a lot of nothing happening. It was so bad, we saw Santa Claus walking across the parking lot the opposite way. I'm not playing with y'all. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. Brady, Akiva, did we? Santa Claus, fully dressed, was walking outside of the mall. Even Santa Claus was like, yeah, this Black Friday thing it's over. But I've done some crazy things on Black Friday. One time, we stayed overnight in Walmart. I was 8 months pregnant. So back then, Walmart used to stay open all night, but they wouldn't let you get the deals until 5 o'clock in the morning. See, all my real shoppers, y'all with me? Y'all with me? And so I decided that I wanted to get something. I'm gonna tell y'all what it was at the end, how stupid this is. And so we went at about 11 o'clock at night, Layla, at Walmart. And they had all the pallets like covered up so you didn't know where the deals were. Well, we went around and looked in every packet or pamphlet there was, and we pulled it apart and got the stuff that we wanted out and put it in a cart. And so we shopped the whole store, and then we went and sat at the register on the floor until the register clicked on at 5 o'clock. Ask me what I was buying. A portable DVD player. Y'all don't understand, I was in crisis. I was getting ready to have 2 kids under 2, and they needed something to entertain them. That was real Black Friday shopping. Or the time we left and we went to the outlet here at 10 o'clock and then stayed there all night and then drove to Grove City to go to the next outlet when it opened at 7. I thought y'all was Black Friday shoppers. But I think Black Friday is gone, and maybe we really did be thankful on Thursday. So thankful that we didn't even go fight nobody on Friday. And so we're on this series. This is the last sermon for this series called Enough is Enough. And it is practicing contentment, gratitude, and thanksgiving. We've said this over and over again. There's so many times that we find ourselves pursuing cars and careers and people and things that will never satisfy us. Contentment, as Pastor John taught us last week, it leads to thanksgiving. And where I want to pick up today real quick is thanksgiving produces an attitude of gratitude. People got an attitude of a whole lot of things these days. But can I tell you, your attitude is based on what you're consumed by? You ever met somebody just with a nasty attitude? I mean, and it's nasty all the time, no matter when you see them. That's because they're consumed by hate. They're consumed by bitterness. They're consumed by things that are leaking out into their personality. But if you are content, which will lead you to a lifestyle of thanksgiving, it should possess you with an attitude of gratitude. What is gratitude? It's the quality of being thankful, but not only that, the readiness to show appreciation and to return the kindness. It's not just saying thank you. Thanks is a polite reaction. I used to say that all the time when my kids were younger. It was Easter, and they used to give, I don't know why, them little hard-boiled eggs, and they give you like a walnut or something, and like a jelly bean. And they would give the little kids those little bags. Well, I taught my kids to be polite, And so Josh had to be about 2 or 3. Josh ain't never played about his food. Don't play with him. And so I gave him the little basket, and I was like, say thank you. He was like, no. Just not saying thank you today. I said, well, why not? He said, because it's not good. Thank you has just become a polite response. It doesn't become a posture of your heart. When thank you is a posture of your heart, it's more than what you say after somebody gives you something. It is a readiness to show appreciation. I appreciate life. I appreciate all that God has given me, so I take care of it. The state in which you keep your things tells you how much you appreciate them. And not just things, but people. Move on, Pastor. And to return kindness. We started the NDEIC at the middle school and the high school, and we started to start with kindness, because if we could just teach people how to be kind, a lot of these other things would be solved themselves. But kindness is a choice. That means when people are nasty and they're acting nasty, I don't have to give them the same, I don't have to reciprocate what they're giving me. I had every right to defend myself. I had every right to turn that board meeting all the way out. But if I would have jumped off sides, I wouldn't have seen the glory of God show up in that place. It was unjust. It wasn't right. I was being accused of something that I did not do. If I wanted to, I could have let my flesh take over. But I understand whatever you feed more is going to be the strongest. The reason you can't stop cussing folk out is because you won't stop feeding cuss.
Put the plate down.
Don't be looking at me like that. Whatever you feed more. Was it hard for me to sit quiet? You best believe it was. I ain't never been short of telling nobody off. But I could not. I had to allow God to be true. And I had to be who I said I always was. Because it was more about who I was than it was about who they were. So developing an attitude of gratitude is the simplest way to improve your satisfaction with life. If you are not satisfied in your life right now, you lack gratitude. Everything is wrong. Nothing is ever right. I guarantee you, you got to fix your contentment and thankful lens, because you're not producing the air of gratitude that you should have. There is always something to be thankful for. And when you have this attitude, it's not real hard to find.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, I was sad that Black Friday was dying, but I wasn't sad at all the deals that I got. Thank you, Jesus. Y'all be like, she got issues. Pray for me. Move. All right, I'm done. Here we go. We ready. I want to talk about the 10 lepers. Anybody heard about the 10 lepers today? I like to call them the givers and the takers. Because those who live in a life of gratitude are the givers. Those who complain all the time are the takers. And those are the ones that are always trying to take something. That's why they never thankful, because they don't never get nothing, because they don't never give nothing. Let's go to the scripture. Luke 17 understands this. Jesus heals 10 men with leprosy. Now, on his way to Jerusalem, Jesus traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he was going into a village, 10 men who had leprosy met him. Understand what leprosy was. It was a nasty disease, and it was highly contagious. It was sores and boils all over your body. It wasn't like COVID where you can't tell if people got it or not. Leprosy was something that would show up on the outside. It was sores. They smelled bad. These people were cast out of the assembly.
That's right.
So it was 10 of them, and they had leprosy. They stood at a distance and called out in a loud voice, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." When he saw them, he said, "Go, show yourself to the priest." And as they went, they were cleansed. Let me help y'all. He didn't touch them. He didn't lay hands on them. He looked at them and said, "Go and show yourself." and they believed him enough to go, and as they went, they were cleansed. Some of us can't get healing because we don't follow the instruction. We would be the ones where when he said go cleanse, and they'd be like, well, Jesus, you know we can't go see the priest because we not allowed. They didn't ask a question. He said go, they went, they were cleansed, right? How many of them was it? 10. It was 10. But one of them, when he saw he was cleansed, he came back. Praising God in a loud voice, he threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him, and he was a Samaritan. He wasn't even supposed to be talking to Jesus. He was an unclean people. I ain't going there. Go back this way. Don't push me over there. It was how many of them? And how many came back? Okay. Then Jesus asked, were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Has no one returned to give praise to God except this foreigner? Then he said to him, rise and go, for your faith has made you well. See, you were healed, but you weren't made well. You received the physical manifestation, but your spirit was still broke. The fact that you received a healing and couldn't even come back and say thank you is why you're still broken.
That's right.
The enemy of gratitude is entitlement. What does that mean, Pastor? It's belief that one is inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment. The reason the other 9 did not come back because they thought they were worthy. They were worthy of the healing. They were worthy of the miracle. Now, they've been sick all this time, but when it came down to it, their heart or their brokenness inside still remained. So they were sick deeper than just in the natural.
That's right. That's right.
A sense of entitlement is a cancerous thought process that is void of gratitude and can be deadly to our relationships, Steve Maraboli says. A sense of entitlement is cancerous to our relationship with God and our relationship with one another. Because what you're really telling God is, you should have died for me. And we don't, no, I'm just making it plain so y'all can see it, because we don't use those words. We never say that. But our actions show that Calvary was not enough. If he chose not to do another thing, Calvary was more than enough. We were unworthy. We didn't deserve it. We were guilty.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And yet we walk around sometimes like we deserved it. How does that look? When we live our lives and we don't care anything about what he died for. When we make decisions that are all about us, knowing that we should be others-minded. When we do everything contrary to the 2 commandments, which is love him and love one another. When we're prejudiced, when we talk about people, when we bully folk, I could just keep going for like 20 minutes. Every time you tell him Calvary was not enough. I deserved it. Gratitude begins when my sense of entitlement ends. So what if he don't do what you're asking him to do? Is he still not worthy? Or does he owe you? What if he doesn't do the things that you think? Is he not worthy? See, my sense of gratitude understands that I am a wretch undone. I'm thankful that I don't look like what I've been through. But don't get it twisted. I've been through. And I ain't always looked like this. I didn't always talk like this. I didn't always think like this. It is the change that has come over me since I have met a man named Jesus. I'm not as smart as I appear to be. It is the glory. I don't have any room to take credit for any of this. Nothing great that I've done, that I live where I live, or that I drive what I drive, or that I'm blessed the way that I'm blessed. I had nothing to do with that. It was all about him. I lead this church because of him. I do what I do because of him. How grateful are you? One more story in the Bible and I'm done today. I usually don't give you two, but I'm going to give you this one. This is bonus. This is extra. True gratefulness causes a response. When you're grateful, everyone knows. When you have an attitude of gratitude, Malik, people know, because you can't help but respond. There's a story in the Bible. There's a woman who had an alabaster box. And it was this little box that she saved, and it had precious ointment in it. One translation says it probably was worth a year's wages. And she wasn't the woman with the best reputation. Matter of fact, some studies said that she was an unclean woman, or she was a nasty woman. That's what the book says. But she met a man named Jesus one day. And he changed her life. See, I think some of us have ran into Jesus, bumped into him, but you haven't had an encounter with him. See, in church, you may have grazed by him a little bit. In church, you may have had an emotional feeling. But until you really have an encounter with him, usually in your bathroom or in your bed or late in the night or driving down the highway, it's usually one of them times. I'm not saying it don't happen in church, but real encounters usually happen one-on-one. She had an encounter. Let's pick it up in the Message, Luke 7:47. Jesus, let me set this up. She comes in and she cracks the oil and pours it over his feet and began to wipe his feet with her hair. And so they have a fit because, number one, she was an unclean woman. And then Judas, old betraying self. Sorry, I read the Bible. It's a real story. He gonna say, well, we could have gave that to the poor. You were stealing. You wasn't giving it to the poor. And so Jesus said, who would have more appreciation? One who hasn't been forgiven for much, or one who's been forgiven for a whole lot? How many people in here can say, I may fall in that whole lot category? I may. So Peter answered to him, I suppose the one who was forgiven the most. That's right, said Jesus. Then turning to the woman, but speaking to Simon, he said, do you see this woman? I came to your home. You provided me no water for my feet, but she rained tears on my feet and dried them with her hair. You gave me no greeting, but from the time I arrived, she hasn't quit kissing my feet. You provided nothing for freshening up, but she has soothed my feet with perfume. Impressive, isn't it? She was forgiven many, many sins. And so she is very, very grateful. For if the forgiveness is minimal, the gratitude is minimal. But he who has been forgiven for much is grateful for much. When you add it all up, all the things that he has forgiven you for, I'm not talking about the stuff people know about. I used to tell people all the time, the difference between your past and my past is you could Google mine. But that don't mean yours ain't just as important. When you think about all that he has forgiven you for, gratefulness should come from the inside. Cause you weren't there the night he found me. You did not feel what I felt when he wrapped his loving arms around me. And you don't know the cost of the oil. You don't know the cost of my praise. You don't know the cost of the oil in my alabaster box. Give the Lord some praise in this place. Oh, you can do better than that. You don't know the cost, honey. You can do better than that. I don't want you all to go another day not being grateful for what God has done for you. There's always something to be grateful for. I do what I do because of what he's done for me. Because he should have left me. I was wounded, broken, and bruised. I did not want to live. I wanted to die. And yet he chose to let me live. I will forever be grateful. 'Cause you were there the night he found me. You did not feel what I felt when he wrapped his loving arms around me. And you can't know the cost of the oil. Yes, you don't know the cost of my praise. You don't know the cost of the oil in my alabaster box. Come on and give the Lord a praise. Hallelujah.